Welcome to another episode of The Sweet Spot. Tonight, I'm joined by my good friend, Killian Krowe. Hold on, we gotta turn that back up a little bit, baby. We gonna shatter this one. All the records getting shattered. My good friend, Killian Krowe, my fellow in Wyatt, okay? The Wyatt brothers together. All right, brother, I love you, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being a part of the show.
Welcome.
Hey, you know what it was, bro. I set that one on special, brother.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I gave Kay a synthwave Sting Krowe version yesterday.
Nice.
Do you have a pair of headphones?
I do not on me. Having a hard time hearing me or what?
No. It just gives a little bit of echo from my side on your end.
Okay.
That's fine. We're all good. Gravy, baby. How you doing, dude?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, it is what it is. After, our interactions at Primo's, they're always fun, picking on my kid, picking on me.
Hey, man, he's always getting in my face. Come on.
That's true. I know. The little son of a gun's always getting in everyone else's face. I mean, he brings it on himself, so it is what it is.
That's right.
Yeah, dude. You got any plans going forward with wrestling here in the future? Or,
Oh, man, I got all the plans.
Yeah, what's going on, brother?
Plans out the butt. This 2024 is about to pop off for
I know. We were kind of talking. You got plans that you're going to be heading down to the Springs.
Yeah. Big news. Hearing it here first. Killian Krowe's moving to the Springs.
Yes, sir. He's out of here.
Some things are going to be changing. It's not going to change anything as far as like shows, but
no, still a familiar face at Primo's. Just so be making your way down to BPW. Just new nest for the Murder of Crows, huh?
Yep. And then 2024, I'm traveling as much as I possibly can. Any bookings, trying to hit as many states as possible. Definitely doing my my extra thing when I can do that too. So,
do you got any upcoming out-of-state bookings like on the horizon?
I got Montana in February. I got about 6 bookings in Texas coming up in 2024.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
So working on some New Mexico dates. I'm in talks with Gino, I Told You show to link up with him for a few places. So
hell yeah.
So yeah, man, we're getting out there.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, it's you've come a long way from pulling the ref out of the ring,
Yeah, at the wrong time.
I'm just saying, brother, you've come a long way. Okay, I've been there for the ride.
May he rest in peace. That man, Jeremy Wimmer, was one of the best referees we've ever had. So I'm glad I have that atrocious memory to share with that man.
It was fun. I know on commentary, it was one of those moments where it's like, did that just happen? Did he just do that?
Yeah, I still Hunter Gray and Adrian Grimm still give me a whole lot of
good, as they should.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a learning experience, but it was one of those things that then I'm sure at the moment you were mortified, horrified, never wanted to fucking step foot in the locker room again. But now looking back, it's like it's a fun memory, and it's
Yeah,
something that
yeah,
like
no. I enjoy it
it's
now.
yeah, dude, and it's so good. It's like it's such a fun little thing. God, and you were such a different character then too. I think the description was you were found by Lilith as a huntsman during their time with Hunter Gray during Nord. I had a
Y-
whole fucking like thing. They gave me a
Yeah, there
whole
was
thing.
a whole thing. That was
Yeah, it's crazy.
before I really knew who I was, so I had other
Yeah.
people kind of telling me who Killian Krowe was.
Yep.
So it took a while for me to dive into where the real me meets the staged me, and I feel like I've really come into myself the past year.
Where the
So
bird meets the hood of the car. I got
that's
you.
right. That's right. Wiped the windshield, got it all clean. We're good to go.
Yeah, boy, I was saying new feathers. You good, baby. No, then it's been a fucking evolution, dude. Like you went from like I said, this like Nordsman character, I guess. And I mean you still carry the runes and have like the emblems and stuff, but
Yeah.
now you're more of like a brawler MMA base. Obviously you're a shitty heel, that's that fucking but
I don't know. It depends on who you talk to, man.
that's true, right? If I go to BPW, now you're a shitty face. God damn it.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to get rid of that shitty here pretty soon. But
No, you're not shitty at all, bro. I absolutely love you. It's just me picking on a friend.
I know.
You know what it is. Dude, it's always fun. Like our rides up to like, CSW, those are always a
Yeah,
blast. The BPW
big
rides
time.
those are cool too. Well, granted we only had one, but that was a blast, man. Getting to know like Kay on a different level and their
Yeah,
spouse and just sharing that time is always a blast.
yeah, it
What
is. It's always a good time.
what's it like? Because it has to be a little different going from CSW, Primos, and BPW, and almost playing a different character in each setting.
Yeah.
As far not necessarily like your character, but your positioning, face, heel, tweener.
Right. CSW and Primos have been pretty much the same as far as like the way that I'm portraying myself. But BPW, I haven't been a face since I think my first 6 months wrestling. Before I made the switch over to Primos, and like I hadn't really found who Killian Krowe was at the time, so I hated being a face then
Yeah,
because it's really hard to get people to like you when you don't know who it is you're trying to get them to like, if that makes sense.
that's such
So
a good way to put it. Makes perfect sense.
so I felt like it was a lot easier being a heel while still trying to find out who I was, because it's a lot easier to make someone hate you than it is to like you. So
Yeah,
um but now, man, Battleground has given me an opportunity to kind of try something different with the Killian brand, and like I'm really I'm really digging it, man. It's really fun. I got to face Ryzen. That was a match I've been wanting to since before my debut. So that was,
yeah,
man.
that was
So
a
yeah, I'm
fun match.
really enjoying the ride right now, man.
Dude, you're killing it too. Like you're doing really
Thank you.
good. You're getting a lot of out of state bookings. I mean, shit, bro. And I was gonna save this for a little bit later, but let's just hit it. I mean, you've been on WWE TV, maybe not in the ring, but dog, you're rubbing elbows with WWE guys. You're popping some of the people in the back. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good shit that you're doing. And then it's even getting your face on TV like that as a security
yeah,
guard. That's
yeah.
humongous, especially for independent bookings. I mean,
Man,
look
it's
at
been,
Gino.
yeah. Gino has been a guy that I kind of watched since the beginning, just trying to get in the independent scene. He's a name that pops up everywhere. So
Yeah.
if you're an independent wrestler and you don't know who Gino I told you so is, then you're really not watching the scene. But um I started taking notes of all the things he was doing, and yes, he's based in out of a certain area, but he's everywhere. He's not just in his home state. So I've really, since the beginning, I've really tried to adopt that. And the extra spots, man, I took an opportunity to email the guy, and I ran with it, and now it's been a pretty consistent paid booking for me. So it's it's a wild ride, man.
Dude, it's really cool. It's not something that everyone's going to experience, you know, and there's going to
Yeah.
be haters, you know, there's going to be people that are going to be like, oh, I'm a Killian, dude. Don't
Yeah.
ever let them fucking get in your head, dude. You're doing something that they wish they could be doing. All right. Like,
Right.
they're fucking begging for that spot, you know, like,
Agreed.
so it's awesome. And then you kind of touched on a little bit the Gino, how he's willing to go the extra mile, literally
Mhm.
go to Wyoming, go to Montana, California, wherever, you know, to do a WWE booking. So
Yeah.
he'll put in that application through Wyoming, through whatever, and he'll do what he needs to get licensed. I don't know how it works. I'm obviously not, but
Yeah.
the blood work, all that stuff through the states and
Mhm.
all that, and he'll do it, get it done.
Yep.
Next thing you know, like, fuck, man, got
Yeah.
something going. And you're following
Yeah.
that same path. And I'm very proud of you, brother, for that.
Thank you,
That's
man.
awesome. Yeah,
Thank you.
dude. So how's the kid? I know he's has he been going to training lately? You got any plans for him to step in the ring?
He was going to training there for a while. Once the school year hit,
No.
he just he just hit middle school, so he's in the act out stage for sure. He's not
Oh
really
shit.
enjoying his schoolwork this year. So when the schoolwork goes, so does the training, unfortunately. But
I feel you.
but we still watch every Monday and Friday, and
Hell yeah.
he's very enthralled. It's weird that I've been doing this for about 3 years now, and this is the first year he's been like, "Oh, this is kind of cool what you do." Before it was just like, "Oh, okay, he's wrestling," but no, he's really enjoying it now. He's loves to come to the shows, and like he's getting really involved in the storylines and stuff, which is cool to watch. So
Yeah, they were recently in the ring with you at CSW. That had to have been a
yep,
blast for them.
yeah, yeah. There's
And then I saw the
hopefully more of that now that I'm a face.
I
Be
know,
able to
right? No one can say anything now. There was
yeah,
rumblings in the back, and I'm gonna be super honest with you. There was rumblings of oh, he's a heel. Why is he ruining his
yeah,
character with this kid? And I was like, I mean, you only get very few times with it. But now, you know,
true.
hey, do your thing, dude. I ain't worried about it. You see me and
Yeah.
Jackson, I'll be bringing him in the ring anytime I can.
I'll be bringing him in the ring too, but not for the same reasons.
Oh no, it's all right. It's totally have my permission to beat my son's ass. It's all right. Do what you
No,
gotta
I
do.
love that kid. He's great.
He gets on my nerves sometimes. It's okay.
That's what they're
I'm a
supposed to
father.
do, man.
I know, right? Yeah, that's anyway. I love that kid. He's a blast. He's
Yes, he is.
turned into like a little locker room staple. You know, he's part
Hmm.
of like the group, and it's weird. Tyra's always having him break down the ring and shit. So that's
And
fun.
he always, man, he helps. Like
Yeah.
you always have, like as a heel at Primos, right? You always have those fan members who will cheer for you just because they think you look cool, or the
Yeah.
smart fans who cheer for the bad guy just because it's cool to cheer for the bad
Because
guy.
they're the more talented, or they're the cool one, or yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
The smart fans. I love that fucking word. Yeah,
but
let's go.
Jax knows how to guide a crowd by being in the crowd, so he helps us with the narrative we're trying to tell, which is
Boy.
it's great. It's great.
Yeah, you recently flipped him the bird at a
Yes, I did.
show. Let's go. This
To the
man
point
flipped
where
off my son.
I felt bad, and when I confronted him and apologized, he said, and I quote, "Hey man, I was working."
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, it's so ridiculous. It's
That
so dumb.
kid is gold, bro.
Yeah, very knowledgeable about what he needs to do,
Yep.
understands what's going on, who,
Yep.
and I think there for a minute that thing with Marlon, he was
Hmm.
kind of doing the whole I just want to beat up the champ and I'm gonna beat him up. And then Joe and I think Lucy kind of were talking to him. We're like, dude, you don't just gotta beat up the champ always, you know?
Yeah.
What if you're both on the same side? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you don't gotta now you can approach him in a more and anyway, he kind of clicked. Like it hit him. He was like, oh, okay, there's two different sides to this. And then once he started training, getting the face and heel.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love you, Krowe.
I love you too, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a fucking fun ride getting to know you, dude. The car rides are a really fun time. You know, we get a
Yes,
lot
they
of good
are.
fucking conversations in there and shit. Really
Half
get
of them
some
we
good
forget
time.
because there's a lot of stupidity involved, but
Well, but then there's a lot of serious stuff that we get into. There's a lot
yeah,
of
big
things that
time.
are like, you know, heart to heart. Like
Hmm.
you know, and you're very honest about, but you overcame a drug addiction, you know.
Yeah.
That was something that held you down for a while, you know, like what how do I word this? Why were drugs an outlet for you? There we go.
Dude, that is a good question. Growing up, I didn't really have a lot of support system. I have three older sisters, but the oldest one is like 20 years older than me, so there's a lot of gap there. By the
Yeah.
time I came around, they had like their own lives. They weren't around, so I was kind of alone in the house, and my dad had a real bad alcohol problem, so he wasn't there, and my mom had a pain pill deal, so she wasn't around. So basically, just me and the TV, I guess. And then once I left home at 17 because I really couldn't handle being there anymore. I made some rough decisions, going down a rough path, and ended up putting things in my body to cope the feelings of the things I had been dealing with. Um, so yeah, man, it was a place to numb things, I guess. I've always been guilty of feeling too many things. So it was a way to not feel all of it and kind of just be able
Yeah.
to go through life without being stuck in my head. Um, and then it goes from being a place of solace to like a cage, really, because then you can't exist outside of that. Um, you end up needing the numbness rather than ever feeling anything. So um, I got really lost in that, and I got super out of weight. I ended up being like 400 pounds, something like that. Ended up going blind. Not That wasn't really because of the drugs. That was just not taking care of myself, and I had a disease in my corneas. Um, but yeah, man, it was a way to stay numb, way to not cope, if that makes sense.
What was your drug of choice during the time, man?
Meth most of the time, actually.
Yeah.
Which, when I tell you I became overweight while doing meth, it throws a lot of people off. But like, you've seen me, I'm kind of just a thick build. Um, I'm not built to be a small person, so my metabolism works a lot differently.
Yeah.
Um, so my body was unable to like use its stored stuff, I guess. So it was just building up, and then yeah, it was wild. I ended up being super super addicted for about it was a short chapter of my life, but a super impactful one. But it was like about a year hard. Um, yeah, and then I got put in jail on a different. It was like outside of a drug charge. It was something minor, and it ended up being enough to scare me into being like, this is not what I want for myself.
Yeah.
Sitting in a jail cell on like a holiday weekend was,
Oh no.
yeah, it
Oh.
was. And then I had to be so. I'll just get into it. The crime I had committed was in one state, and they arrested me in another. So I had to sit in that state while I waited for them to come get me. They
Oh.
waited the max amount of time that they're allowed to. They have 30 days to come get you.
Yep.
They waited until the last day, 15 minutes before their time limit was up to roll in and pick me up. So I sat for a month. Um, I was really alone at the time because given my family had passed, once I got out, I kind of ran,
Yeah.
like wanted nothing to do with my family. So um, I was alone, really, really sticking it out. And then once I finally got picked up and taken to where I can face my charges, I finally decided to hit up my dad, who lived out here, and he himself had kind of turned over a new leaf. He had gotten clean of alcohol. Him and my mom had divorced, and he was actually getting remarried with my now stepmom. Um, so he was like, "I'm gonna come get you." This is like 3 states away, so it's like a 15-hour drive. Um,
That's
and he
awesome.
he he came that weekend. He picked me up. He drove me back to Colorado. Uh, that's how I got clean. I completely separated from where I was. Didn't like it. the circle I was with was no longer my circle anymore. Like I completely,
You were out of state, you
yeah,
weren't doing drugs within the state of Colorado. So
no,
basically,
never.
Colorado's a clean state for you. Awesome. Continue.
Yeah, yeah. So I got here, I got clean. I still had a problem. That's when my like food dependency kicked in. Um,
Boy.
and mind you, I mentioned earlier that I was blind at the time, so I have a degenerative disease in my cornea called keratoconus,
Yeah.
and it basically changes the shape of your cornea to where it expands the frame of vision. So it blurs everything. So it's basically like looking like put your head inside of a milk jug. Like I could kind of see shapes, but I wouldn't be able to tell you who you were or
Yeah.
anything like
Foggy and
that.
shit. Like that
Yeah,
foggy, hazy bullshit. Yeah.
yeah. And it was like all the time. So I had to get a cornea transplant. And the first one actually failed. My body basically rejected it, saying this does not belong in here. And my eyeball forced the cornea out. So I got a I got a super bad infection. I was like bedridden from the pain. Um,
Ooh.
I had to sit like that for about 6 months. I had like the whole red and white cane and everything at the store. Like,
Sir,
yeah,
your eye pushed its eye out of its eye.
yes,
That
basically,
is so fucked up, bro.
it was the most painful experience of my life for sure.
That's just
Um,
I can't even like fathom going through something like that, let alone
yeah,
like having the surgery to get it put in, right?
yeah,
Then go through it again. I mean, obviously you have eyeballs now that work.
yeah. So after that one failed, and like, they basically told me they thought there was a 50-50 chance I was going to lose my eyeball as a whole. Because the infection was like inside of the ball.
Damn.
So they ended up getting it treated with like antibiotics and stuff like over a long period of time, and it got to the point to where my eye was strong enough to do another surgery. So we did the cornea
You're
transplant
a
again,
lucky motherfucker, bro.
bro,
Keep
big
going.
time,
Keep going.
big time. So we did the cornea transplant again, and this one worked. Um, right around that time, I was also going through like a separation from like a super serious relationship and like some super not great mental health runs either.
Yeah.
Uh, so it was just an all around like very messed up time, right? Um, and I hit a point to where I was super low and like the idea of like, do I want to be here crosses and like I fought through it, got through it, but what got me through was I started watching, it's weird. I started watching wrestling again because I remembered that when I was a kid, in the moments that I didn't want to be in my house, I would watch wrestling and like the stories would kind of make me escape.
Oh
So
yeah.
I started watching like the ruthless aggression era again and like the attitude era again, and that's what initially made me start losing the weight, even before my eye was fully fixed.
Were
Um,
you working out while
yeah,
watching wrestling? Okay.
yes, I would literally get a dumbbell and then the entire match I would make sure that I was like doing something with it
Let's
because
go. That's
yeah,
cool
so
shit.
I would make the matches my sets and like the commercial breaks were my
let's
breaks and like
let's go. That's like there's levels to this game and there's people that would never even take that step. We're around people right now in those locker rooms that won't take those steps. And they
yeah,
have that ability, bro.
yeah.
Continue. Sorry.
And so man, like I really got dove into the stories again and then I started watching the today stuff and like that's where I really got into Bray Wyatt and oh, Bray Wyatt set me loose on wrestling again,
Our
man.
boy, baby.
That that I derive a lot of like my
You'll
early
see.
character to him for sure.
This man sits on my desk every day.
Yeah.
And I have him here with me.
That was one of
It,
my favorite moments as a wrestler to this day was after he died, rest in peace. We got to
yes,
do that
sir.
memorial for him and that was something special. Uh
Yeah, that was a really cool moment, man. Taco Fest 2023,
yeah.
Boulder, Colorado. We do one every year. So if you guys are interested, bring those butts. It's a huge festival. One of the really cool shows that I would consider like our SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Um, There's food trucks, and I'm not talking one or two. I'm talking probably about 14, 15, 16
Yep.
different taco trucks, all serving their best birria tacos or whatever I don't know what the competition, carne asada, all that. It's all the different kinds. But you buy some tickets. They have margaritas. They have tacos. They have live pro wrestling,
They have
obviously.
wrestling, yeah.
But they got live music. They have like axe throwing this year. Dude, it was a blast. But all of that culminated at the end of the day with my friend here, Killian Krowe, paying tribute to one of our favorite professional wrestlers, Bray Wyatt. And a really special moment happened at the end with a young fan. Go ahead and tell us about that.
Yeah. So after the show, I get very insecure about my performances sometimes. So I'm always like, are people gonna think that was dumb that I did that, whatever, blah blah blah. This kid come up to me and he couldn't be more than 8 or 9, and he had tears in his eyes, and he stuck his hand out and couldn't quite talk to me. And the mom came up behind him and was just like, his favorite wrestler was Bray Wyatt. We hadn't found a way to tell him that Bray had died yet. So we thought that you doing that was kind of the perfect way to tell him. And so like that, me doing that was his way of like finding out that his favorite wrestler died. And he gave me a hug and like asked for my autograph and took a picture. And it was, I don't really care if anybody else said anything at that point, because that made everything worth it, knowing that I helped him through that. It's pretty cool.
If anything, that just goes to show if anyone did say anything, they were wrong.
Yeah.
Because that was the right thing to do. There are people that want that, like.
Yeah.
I know recently at a BPW show, we saw, gosh, I forget the name of the tag team. You might remember. But they were both wearing Terry Funk's tights, in tribute. Big old Samoan boy and redheaded like redneck boy.
Yeah, that was at the outdoor show, right?
Yeah. What a wild tag team that was in the first place. But yeah, dude. And so tributes for me, I've always I understand if it gets over the top and a little hokey, then sure. But I think what you did was awesome. The crowd really loved it.
Yeah, they did.
So that was awesome, dude.
That was super fun.
When you were younger, who were some of the like wrestlers that you looked up to? Because like you said, you kind of fell off with wrestling there for a minute and then came back. But when you were really young, who were the guys you were looking up to?
Oh, The Rock, Cena,
yeah.
Chris Masters was dope. Batista, Umaga, all the I was pretty enthralled with the whole sport. So it was, all of the stories had their own little places for me, but it was always the big guys, the main ones. Undertaker for sure. One of my first sets of gear was derived from the Undertaker. So
really,
yeah.
That's
those
cool.
Those tights I used to wear. Yeah, the tights with all the crows on them and stuff that I wore with the singlet.
Oh, right on. Hell yeah. That's fucking like the like that Ministry era Taker.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a dope ass era, bro. That shit was fucking cool as fuck.
Yes, it was.
And a lot of fun with the Ministry. I was a really big fan of the Nation of Domination. Makes a lot of sense growing up now. Like fuck who I turned into. Like fuck, it makes all the sense. Fuck, boy, NOD was the boys, I'm telling you. I love them.
Yeah.
Farouk is out there. His fucking spine buster, bro. That's something you should work into your fucking moveset.
True.
That spine buster he does would fit you and your build. That'd be the way because they jump into you and you're just pretty much snapping them down.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty fucking cool.
I should.
That'd be a sweet. I know that dude, with like CSW and stuff, Primos, all that, leading off of the Taco Fest, you've kind of earned your spot into a championship contender, like you're kind of in that realm now of like one of the top dudes.
Trying, man.
I mean, let's be honest, you're booked in matches against guys like Marlon Bishop. You're in a feud right now with Chino and Caleb Crush. We're put alongside Caleb Crush, to help you along with your career. Dude, I think the path is, looking pretty sweet. What are your plans for 2024? We're on the cusp here, the end of 2023. So, what are your plans for 2024? Do you have championships in sight? Do you have any people
Yeah.
that like dream matches you want to get done?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's cool that I get to say I've gotten to face some dream matches already. The like I said, the Ryzen match was
Yeah,
phenomenal. Um, Shout out to Ryzen. He's been a mentor of mine since the beginning. So
I got to get that
Ri-
boy on here, man.
yeah, no, Ryzen is underappreciated and overqualified. So
Yeah,
uh, that man is great. I got that my match with Chris Masters, which the kid
dude.
in me was wild about.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit, because that's something that I was kind of leaning into there. Uh, Masters was someone that you enjoyed as a kid, right? And then
Mhm.
getting to grow up and wrestle this dude who's still goddamn, man, that dude is still fucking legit as fuck. So it's
Yeah,
like, what was that like? And then I have another question to follow up with this same match, but what was it like facing one of your heroes, dude?
it was daunting at first, intimidating. Just like I said, watching from such a young age to where it's like your formidable years. And I remember like he used to have that extravagant entrance, right? And I would act out the entrance and like did the whole
My
thing
guy.
because so like
Let's
the
go.
when it came time that I found out I was going to be working him, it was intimidation. Oh crap! I gotta hit the lab. I gotta be in better shape. I gotta get better gear. I gotta do all this stuff. So I feel like it took me to a different level in my head of like I'm starting to be taken a little bit more serious here. To be trusted with matches like that, I feel like you have to be. That means that the promoter trusts you to put on a show. Otherwise, they're wasting their money bringing that person. So,
Yeah.
um, it said a lot to me of like that other people were kind of starting to see what I could provide. Uh, so that was super intimidating. But once it got there and like picked him up from the airport and we were kind of talking about everything, it was I can't really explain the level of excitement that I had. It's like a kid on Christmas. Like I couldn't sleep the night before because, yeah. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was I almost had a similar spot, going to meet Bischoff. But with Masters, there was a moment during the match, all right, where you weren't laying him in, if I'm correct. And
Yeah,
he was like, "Brother, tell me that story. Tell the story
he
to the fans."
made that match made me a better striker. And mind you, I did MMA for like 6 years before I did wrestling. So
Yeah.
I, I used to throw real punches when I would wrestle, and people would get very mad at me. Uh, my entire first 6 months, I would get yelled at. You know this doesn't have to be real all the time, right? So because I would forget to pull the punch. Well, then
Yeah.
when I got there in Masters, I was so worried about hitting a guy that I had watched since a kid, and I didn't want a bad rep of being unsafe or, all those thoughts go through your head. You don't want to overdo it. So I went to throw a gut punch and I pulled it, and he looked me dead in the eye, almost stopped selling. He didn't stop selling because he's a good worker, but almost stopped selling and said, "Boy, hit me." And I laid it in, and I've been laying it in like that ever since. And everyone tells me my strikes are great. So thank
That's
you, Chris
good.
Masters.
Yo, for real. And it's such a fun story too, because like not often do you get like, I don't want to say reprimanded, but I mean
Yeah,
it's like in a fun way. It's like, hey dude, fucking give it to
yeah,
me, brother. Like,
yeah,
and that's cool that on the highest level that's what they want. So like
yeah,
it's knowledge we can pass down to everyone else, dude.
yeah.
But
But
okay,
that
now let's talk about, like I said, 2024. Let's keep talking about that.
2024, Marlon Bishop. I
Yes,
want that.
sir.
I want that Primos heavyweight title. I want it bad. Primos was the first place like when I made the switch. I actually almost gave up wrestling before I came to Primos. The place I had trained at prior to here, it just didn't really conform to me.
We
And
don't have to name names, but why? Why did it? What was wrong there versus what you're doing now? Go.
beginning start, it's a hard thing to explain. A lot of it was, I guess, financial because I'm a family man. I started this a lot later than some, so I don't
Yeah.
have the option to not work, if that makes
How old are you?
sense. I turned 30 next month.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm getting gray, bro. My
It's all right.
time's
I'm
coming.
36. It's all right. I'm just picking it
It's
up.
okay. It's okay. I'll be like Rick. I'll just retire 8 times. It's fine.
Oh, bro.
But so it was it was about 2 weeks worth of pay that I was earning at the time to pay
Yeah.
for a month of training. So I was sacrificing a lot to be there, and it was a requirement of like multiple days a week, which is understandable. We're supposed to be taken to a higher standard. So I will say that
Yeah.
me doing that is probably why I've been able to do the things as fast as I've been able to do them. Because I was like 4 days a week at first training and then like 2 days a week doing a show, and they were all mandatory.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's something that we've talked about on the car rides too,
Yeah.
is you had a ton of fucking matches
Yeah.
already, like a lot
Yeah.
of matches because it was a 2 times a week thing. So you're having
Yeah.
plus all the practice matches you're doing, all the training.
Yep.
You know, there was a lot of work put in.
Oh yeah.
We'll get more into that, but continue.
So yeah, I was doing it, and then I was going through some rough patches with my family because it was a lot to sacrifice and was kind of putting us in a really, really bad hole. And so it starts to mess with your in-ring abilities if your out of ring surroundings aren't very like positive, if that makes sense.
Yes. No, we've
So
seen that a lot.
I was getting hurt. I stopped showing up to training. It just like I wasn't really happy doing what I loved anymore.
Yeah.
So I had made the decision to step away, and then Hunter Gray's wife, Marissa, who I love to death, and those two, Hunter Gray and Marissa Gray, saved my wrestling career.
Really?
They actually pointed me to Primos and the Butcher Shop. I told Marissa and Hunter that I was thinking about quitting, and they told me that Joey would take care of me and that Primos would be a home for me. And I trusted them on that, and it's been the best decision I ever made because I'm still
Dog.
wrestling now because of that choice. So shout
Wrestling
out
and
to them.
excelling at it, succeeding, you know, like
Thanks, man.
you're on a path, you know, like
Yeah.
of not very
I
many
will.
are on that path. And then I think the influence you have on those around you is rubbing off too, you know. I'm not
Appreciate
gonna
that,
like
man.
name drop people, but there's a lot of people that are around us that are going, oh, it's possible for us. It's possible for us here in Colorado to do these things. You're
Yeah.
guiding a lot of people, man. Guns, I
Appreciate
think, was
that,
the
man.
initial spark because
Oh
everyone
yeah.
saw Guns on fucking WWE doing the internship, and
Yep.
then
Big Guns
the
was actually the
AEW
person.
match.
Big Guns was actually the person who gave me the contact to do all the WWE stuff I'm doing. So yeah, Big Guns was he's the one that kind of gave me a blueprint. When I switched over to Primos, I reached out to a lot of people that were in this scene, and obviously Joey and one of those other people was Big Guns, and he
Yeah,
was super accepting, super knowledgeable. A really he's been a good source for me. He's been very motivational for me too. I've had some great matches with him too. So all around, Big Guns is a good dude. But yeah, man, I decided to give it another try. I went and met with Joey and started training at the butcher shop, and meeting everyone on this side of the team. And man, I feel like if all of my best friends now are because I switched over here, uh, which is crazy. You, Big James, Bishop, Kay, all the people that like I'm super close to now are because I
yeah, man.
came here. So and then yeah, I started doing Primo shows, and then I met Randy, started doing CSW, and then I was doing New Era for a while, New Era Wrestling when they were still open.
Yep.
And a guy by the name of Pete Villano showed up to a show, and I met him. He had watched our match, and I met him, and he said that he just opened up this company in Greeley called Battleground Pro Wrestling, and he'd love
Let's
to
go.
have me out. And this was the first like time that I didn't have to go seek it out, like someone came to me and saw something in me without me going to them first. So that was like,
Yeah.
this is kind of cool. And I went there, and the crowd was a different feel, and like I'm from further north Colorado, so that was kind of more of like hometown stuff for me. And
Yeah.
then Pete was that other person that really like, man, I see something in this kid, and he's been there. He's given me a really good platform to show what I can do. A lot of the footage I've sent in has been from Battleground Pro, which has gotten me these extra spots. So these people getting behind me have really, having people behind you really sets things apart. Which I feel like is the difference between now and before I came. Before I didn't really feel like I had a lot of like people pushing me up the hill. I felt like there was a lot of people holding me down the hill, and like
Yeah.
it's a huge difference when you have that support system, and like I couldn't be more grateful for the people I found.
Well, it's really neat looking back at like you said, you started with Rocky Mountain Pro, doing a lot of stuff
Mhm.
down there. And then your journey eventually through Bill and Marissa took you to Primos, which eventually led you to CSW, and then CSW led you, not necessarily, but then all of this growth led you to BPW, New Era,
Yeah,
uh, CWC, and like you
yeah,
said, you have all these people that are willing to give you this opportunity. Joe McDougal, first and foremost,
yeah,
who really fucking helped you shine on the
big
Colorado
time. It
scene.
still does to this
Randy
day.
Rude. Oh yeah, facts.
Oh
Randy
yeah, Randy
Rude,
Rude.
huge, huge fucking supporter of you.
Hmm.
Chad Kalina,
Yeah,
uh, Pete Villano, like you said, and then New Era back when they were doing their thing. So,
yeah,
dude, it's really cool. And again, all of those companies included, they're all so welcoming
hmm,
and so willing to weed out the bad, right? Like recently,
yeah,
we've kind of cleaned up the scene here in Colorado, man. And
yeah. It was a wild ride there for a couple months, but yeah, we
Mr.
definitely got,
Toad's wild ride, dude. It was
bro.
fucking the wildest thing ever. Up and
Yeah,
down, left, right. You didn't know where we were going to land, and I feel
yeah,
like the how the CERN, they did that hydrogen collider gimmick, and it put us in a good universe. I'm okay with
yes, it did. It was.
that. Yeah,
No, I feel like the scene's really doing good now, and like
yeah,
there's
dude.
several of our guys between the AEW and these extra spots, and like we've got some good stuff going in the pipeline. Colorado's really showing out right now. So
Yeah, who are the people right now in Colorado that you're looking at to carry the state here in the next 5 years? Because in
um
5 years, things change, man. It's going to be a whole different
5 years,
scene.
yeah, there's so many. K, obviously K is setting things apart.
No
Um
offense, I think they're going to be beyond.
I
You know
agree.
what I'm saying?
No,
Like, I don't
no,
think
I
in five
agree.
years, I don't think they're going to be doing much for the
That's
Colorado
a good
scene.
point. You
It's going
did
to be a
say
bigger, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's going to be the young cats now? Like, like Nico or,
Nico.
Type 1
God,
Warrior,
oh yeah,
like these.
Type 1 warrior. You'll see me give him a lot of credit in front of the camera, but
Yeah,
that kid that kid puts in the work, and he is younger than all
dude.
of us and has more potential than most of us have.
Hmm.
And he's got a lot of people in his corner helping him get there too. So he's
Facts.
in a really good place to do some great things. Um, Niles Blood as well. Niles Blood's killing.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, Urza Urza's killing. Um, man, we got Nikki Chase and the whole
I'm telling you.
NASCAR team, I suppose.
Oh, don't bring them into this. All
That's the
right.
one time you'll ever hear me say anything nice about the NASCAR's fake. If you were watching right now, Logan, NASCAR's fake, and I don't get behind that. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it's a work. It's a work, just
yeah,
like the NBA and the NFL. It's all fake.
yeah. I only
It's
like
all
that real
bullshit.
shit. That's why I'm a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. All
God,
right, CZW. Okay,
that's
I
right.
want to see glass shards falling out of your body 4 months after the fact. Like,
Yeah.
hey, have you seen that shit where fucking like death matchers will be like, usually on Facebook, they'll just make a
Yep.
post of like the back of their tricep, and there's like
Yep.
a piece of glass that had fallen out 4 months after.
Yep.
Uh,
It's
not my
gnarly,
thing.
bro. Freaking
Do you
wrestling.
have any plans for aiming towards the deathmatch scene? Is that something you're into?
I like to dabble.
Yeah.
I've had my couple death matches already. One with Sean
Yeah.
O'Reilly and one with Niles Blood. And they're fun. And when the death match opportunities come my way, I will definitely. I like to get it in. I don't know that I'll be a death matcher, just because
Okay. Yeah.
this I'm having a fun time with this TV route I'm going. Uh,
Yep.
and cut a lot of the cuts on the face and all that stuff can tend to get in the way of TV time. Uh,
Yeah. Scars on the body and stuff really don't help.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I love everything about this sport, and I was a super big guy in the ECW, so like I I love all different. There's so many different types of professional wrestling, and like I love dabbling in
Bruh.
all of them. So
Yeah, dude, deathmatch is wild. Like you said, you had your few, you had your two death matches, one for BPW and one for
mhm,
Primos.
yep,
You and Sean O'Reilly kind of went pretty hard. That was a fun one. Uh,
yeah. Sean
Barbed
O'Reilly,
wire door, I believe, was involved in that one. And
barbed wire door, an exploding bat.
yeah,
We did a lot of stuff.
yeah, dude, that was a fun one. I had the opportunity to call that match, dude.
I think you called the Niles Blood one too.
Of course, I had to call that one. Yeah,
That one
BPW though,
was
that was dude. The Niles Blood, Slave to the Death Match, and all those types of all that shit that Primos
yeah,
does. They just have a unique touch,
yeah.
to create such controlled violence. I was trying to,
Mhm.
really, but man, it's shout out to Bubba and what
Yeah.
he's doing to get everything put together there, and then Joey's formatting for the tournament is so fun, and it
Yeah.
brings such a cool setting. And us going, what? I think it's gonna be 3 days this year, the 20th
Yeah, I
through the
saw that.
22nd.
Yeah.
Dude, 3 days, slave to the death match. Do you plan on doing anything at slave?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna be there this year, but I had to fly out, so I had to change my plans. But
Hey
I
man.
was the full plan is always to be at Primo shows. Primo,
Oh
like
yeah.
with how much I'm traveling now, I have to find the meat, and you know what I mean? I have to find
Yeah.
the ones I can devote to, and Primos and Battleground are always those are my homes. Those are my the meat to the potatoes, if you will. The place that I feel like I've put my heart most into. And there's not to say I haven't put my heart into all the companies I'm at, but like there's a certain level of them being the first two to look at me that like
Yeah.
it breeds a deeper loyalty, if that makes sense. So those are the shows that like I always try to make unless there's no other choice.
I'm aware of that, feeling, man. I know that for myself, it was kind of one of those things where Primos was. I mean, I had only really worked Indiana, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, all that stuff was kind of like, didn't made some good friends, but I also never really felt welcome,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. And so Aiden sent me down to Primos, and boy, ever since it's been a fucking dream. Like I have a lot of really good friends, uh, and not
Man, are we
just like,
grateful.
dude, and it's not just like show friends. I'm sure like I could lean into anyone on that roster and be like, hey, you want to go do something? I'm
Yeah.
going to watch a movie. You guys want to go? And
Yeah.
we'd all meet up. It's like it's real friendships being made. It's pretty cool, dude.
So me and my fiance are planning our wed. We've been engaged for a while, but we're finally getting to the point where we can actually plan our wedding.
Let's go.
And we're looking at like spring or summer, and we were like talking today about like I'm not the type to where I'm gonna invite 500 people. I've never been that guy. I will never be that guy. But I noticed today that everybody I said I was gonna invite was all our wrestling people.
I'm telling you.
And like all the
And
people that are gonna be standing next to me are like the people I've met through here.
that's cool
So
shit.
yeah.
That's dope, man. It'll be where you guys. I mean, there's a lot of cool land down there in the Springs, dude, to fucking do
That's
that
what we're
wedding.
looking at. Something a friend Pete Villano actually just got married recently. Shout out to
Yep.
Pete,
Congratulations,
congratulations. Yeah.
Pete, Jen.
And Miss Jen. He
Yeah.
they I was super happy to actually be able to attend that wedding, and it was super beautiful moment. But they had it at I think it was like what's it a B&B, and it was like a
Oh,
cabin, right? Like it had
yeah.
like 8 bedrooms. It seems like it went on and on, but they just got married there, and then they just had all their people around. And I brought Jess, which is my fiance, and we looked at each other and we're like, this would be a pretty cool setting. That's kind of the type of just to get together to where people can be around to watch us do this, and then I have fun with the people that I care about most. So that's
So,
the
like, we're
plan.
not
Something
gonna
in the
do a
mountains.
macho Miss Elizabeth wedding? Like, that's not gonna happen? We're not gonna
I
have
mean,
Kane bust through the bottom of the ring and interrupt the wedding? Like, what is
hey,
going on with you,
if I
bro?
can get my dream, there'll be some wrestling stuff. Okay,
Have
I'm gonna just
Marlon
put it
bust
out
through the
there.
bottom of the ring?
My goal is to get Matt Hardy and Ryzen to officiate my wedding. So Ryzen,
Bruh,
if you're hearing this, you put it together. You and
you
Matt Hardy are going to
probably
be marrying me.
well, yeah, dude, that would be fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it would
Because,
be
bruh,
ridiculous,
that would be completely ridiculous.
but
Having
amazing.
both of a tag team fucking, bruh, that would be probably the first ever tag team
Yes.
put in, so, doing the whole wedding ceremony. That'd be sweet.
Oh, it would be.
You guys are aiming
The,
for
the,
this summer, 2024?
yeah, we've been engaged. We've had a interesting story arc, and we can get into that another time. But
Yeah, dude.
super grateful for her. I wouldn't be wrestling without her. Um,
Oh yeah.
when uh, the shutdown happened, right? COVID. When the world changed,
Boo!
that's when I decided. Hey, that's when I decided I was gonna wrestle because I didn't have anything else to do, and the gym job I had shut down. I was a general manager of a gym, so
Oh yeah.
um, unemployment took care of me when we were shut down. So I needed something to do, and wrestling happened to be that. And like when COVID ended, I kind of didn't have the money anymore, and she helped make it possible for me to
That's
be able
awesome.
to wrestle. So without her backing, I probably wouldn't be who I am right now. So yeah,
Dude, that's really cool. I know that well, you've met my wife.
yeah,
It's wonderful to have strong women behind us, pushing us forward
yes,
because there's a lot of dark times that I fall into, and I'm sure you've been in
oh
those
same,
similar headspaces. And
yeah,
without them, I don't want to say I wouldn't be here, but without them, I wouldn't be in the as good of a headspace.
mm-hmm,
I definitely wouldn't have been able to crawl out of the dark times as easy. And
yep,
then that falls into like wrestling too. I'm an emotional boy, so I be making a lot of sad boy posts, and everyone reaches out to me like almost immediately, and
yeah,
that's wonderful. I'm sure you have a very similar fucking
yeah.
relationship
No,
with everyone within wrestling too.
yeah,
So
it's some people will notice that something's wrong with me before I do, and it's all
yeah,
people in wrestling, and like it's this sport isn't like any. I've done sports my whole life. I played football. I
hmm
was being scouted to go to college, and then I got injured. I've always done sports my entire life, and this is the first like sport where the camaraderie, like I can't explain the brotherhood that wrestling brings. It's weird.
it's very unique to this Colorado setting, dude. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
be very honest because if and I'm sure you've been out of state, and I don't know
Mm,
how the vibes are in other locker rooms out of state, but there's here in Colorado's for me specifically, it's very welcoming,
yep.
especially within the past 2 years. The last year specifically really has become like this blossoming uh group of friends within pro wrestling.
Yeah, I think it's because we weaned out those soul or the energy eaters that we were surrounding ourselves
Facts.
with. So
Yeah, and there was a lot of them. There was a lot of people that we thought were good friends. We thought they were there for the crew, but it ended
yes,
up turning
darling.
out being
Yes.
yeah, it was well, even that, there's a couple others, that did some really vile things with young people and young individuals, and
Yep.
that's not allowed. We can't, have that within
No,
those. Mickey Knuckles made
never.
a post today about bringing back
Shout out
wrestling
Mickey
court.
Knuckles.
Yes, bringing back wrestling court and how we need to start really policing ourselves. And if I can be upfront and honest, I'm very proud of the Colorado wrestling scene because we have policed ourselves We don't necessarily have a wrestler's court because I don't think we need it. We're all so close. We're all so trusting of each other. We're willing to be like, dude, that person over there is a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
They're fucking shit up for the people in the streets.
Yep.
That's
and
a
I really
Tenacious
love
D reference.
I've noticed that the promoters here are like they're super inclusive with the talent. So like when us wrestlers are saying, yo, this person is unsafe, the promoters here are actually listening.
Yes.
And like
Facts.
that's what I love about the environment we have started to build here has really, I feel like, changed the game for sure.
Yeah, we're nesting.
Yeah. And now we're flourishing.
Dude, we're flourishing. We're all flourishing. It's been fun. We got a lot of good shows coming up on the horizon. Is there anything specifically in the next like month or two that you're going to be doing?
I'm checking out.
Shout out?
Yeah, I'm checking out the ORW Savio Vega seminar this weekend.
That's a huge seminar, dude.
Oh yeah, that'll be in the Springs. Big Vega fan, obviously back from the old days. So that'll be a great learning experience. And then hitting I think the end of the year is going to be kind of slow. I have a big title match against Marlon Bishop and Lonnie Valdez coming up at Primos, so that'll be good at Omega. So check that out. Come see us at Omega.
That's going to be a crazy match. 3-way title match.
Yep.
Lonnie, Marlon, Krowe, all heavy hitters in that match.
Crush. No, it's a tag team, buddy.
Oh, really? Is it Arson? Is it Arson? Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right, Arson versus Valdez.
That was another thing I was gonna lean into. You recently joined. Well, you put a name to the face.
That's right.
You and Caleb Crush have been causing havoc, wreaking havoc, if not burning down the city, creating chaos throughout Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling, forming a group called Arson. You recently, at our last show, Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling presents Loaded, which is live on Fight TV if you want to check that out. You brought in a new member to that group, K Daver.
Yep.
What's the plans for Arson within the Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling promotion?
It's the takeover, man. Arson has everything now. K is a very unique talent because K can attack at any class, female, male, any division that we want, K can have. So we can take over basically every division of Primos, which is the plan. I have been focused on Marlon Bishop for basically since I got here. Marlon has been my focus, and I have not wavered, and I will continue to not waver, and I will get my match with him. Lonnie has also been in that picture, and I have a lot of respect for Lonnie. Lonnie was another one of those people when I got into this scene, was watching my stuff, giving me critiques. He would come to the New Era shows as a fan before he returned, and then would message me later talking to me about my match. So it was Lonnie's been a cool cat for sure in this as well, and like he's done a lot of great things. So the fact that I got a match with him was super cool, especially since this means that I'm actually getting in line with my match with Marlon, because Lonnie has basically been number one contender. So the fact that I just gonna say it, I got my win over him. Doesn't matter how. I got a 1-2-3 over him. So that pretty much puts me next for Marlon. So the next time Marlon should be having a singles title match should be against Killian Krowe.
Yeah, the chips have fallen into place for you, my guy. It's cool to watch, especially as a friend. It's really fun to interact with you on camera and, have that back and forth. I really enjoy that. That's something that
Me too, man.
Yeah, dude, it's a blast. And it doesn't happen too often.
I told you I'm gonna find a way to get you and Jackson there with me. It's gonna happen.
And like I said, we're doing it. We're making memories along the way, and we got a lot of memories to create in the future.
Yes,
I know CWC is trying to get something in the works here for December, if possible. So keep your ear to the rail for that.
Another. You wanted to hear about 2024? I got another big one for you.
Oh, let's go, brother.
Primo's title, obviously, but the Battleground Pro Wrestling Championship is also going to be on my shoulder before the end of 2024. Otherwise, I'm probably not doing something right, apparently, because Gino doesn't need that belt. I do.
I'm telling you, there's one of those things that from an outsider looking in, obviously I don't have the pencil, I'm not the booker man. But it looks like things are in the works, dude. And I mean, you just gotta stay diligent to your craft, don't overinflate yourself, and start
Nah,
thinking like, oh, hey, it happens to the best of us. We've
I
seen
know.
the
I know.
strongest of minds fall. Okay, so
I think I
just
I am blessed with a good surroundings to where if my balloon starts to inflate, someone will let the air out a little bit.
well, as long as it ain't like them damn boots coming off, bro, we can let a little air out.
Hey, that happened. That happened one time, and they exaggerated. All right.
I love you, man.
Love you
Oh,
too, man.
brother. We're gonna and this is the theme with the show. I plan on doing. Oh, Kate Aver just chimed in and said, "Don't worry, Rock. I'll keep his ego in check." Got you. Look at that. Look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's why you brought him in arson. Because you
Who's
guys
gonna
were
stop
obvious.
theirs from inflating?
Listen, all right, stop. Okay, I can't. You can't. We can't. Strongman competitor. You want to stop them? Go right ahead. Okay?
Hey, I used to work and train with Brian Shaw. Okay, I'll compete. Let's go.
Yeah. I talked about that yesterday, and I, what? Since you brought it up, let's talk a little bit about that, dude. Like, what's it like working around someone like Brian Shaw, who is, God, I mean, it's very. I'm gonna say it because he's one of my favorites, the best strongman of all time.
Oh, 100%. I have been a very big strongman. The guy I've I even incorporated a lot of strongman lifts into my lifts just because like the conventional I get bored. My ADHD kicks in. I get bored doing the same stuff. So being able to throw heavy rocks around and like do crazy heavy lifts, like it's more exciting to me.
Hell yeah.
And then he's also from Fort Lupton, which is my hometown as well. So having the world's strongest man 4 times over come
He's
from
from Fort Lupton.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, he graduated from Fort Lupton High School.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah, he actually I'm not gonna give away where he is, but he's
Yeah,
still in
no,
that
dude,
area. So
yeah,
yeah.
don't. Yeah, you're good. You're good. I've seen the house he built. That house is fucking ridiculous.
Bro, so that's where when I worked with him, so I used to be it was like not that great of a job as far as like, oh cool. But it was in his warehouse. I would be the one shipping out all of his gear to the people who order on his website. And then
Oh, right
like
on.
I'd also like clean his gym and like do all that stuff. Organize all that stuff. So like it's super behind the scenes stuff, but the knowledge that I got from it, um,
Oh,
to
you were
see
probably
someone,
watching his fucking YouTube videos being made and shit then.
oh
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
continue. Sorry.
to see someone at his level operate like on a day to day, rather than like you can watch videos, you can watch movies about these people, right? But you don't get to see the how they live their day to day life when the camera's not on. Um, so it's really cool to see like the discipline that goes into like the 24/7 routine in order to be at that level. Um,
Yeah.
I think he just got voted like uh world's strongest man ever because of all of his lifts combined.
Really, I
Um,
didn't know that. Hold on, I'm
not at well,
checking it right
obviously
now.
not at one time. There's other records for that, but like of all of his lifts combined, he's lifted the most weight.
So, like,
Um,
most weight total lifted, Brian Shaw.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see.
And then the dude is now doing jujitsu.
What?
Here in Colorado, he's about to like I guess do an MMA fight. He's been training in Aurora.
He's
Like
about to do an MMA fight?
yeah, bro, it's gnarly. Go check
The
out his
fuck? I'm
Instagram.
doing it
Yeah,
right
he's
now. I'm doing
training.
it right now. I'm doing it right now. Brian Shaw.
He's training with Cody Donovan and Vital Fitness, which is super great in the MMA game. Shout out to them. The
Four-time
Elevation
world's
Fight
strongest
Team.
man, Brian Shaw, is trained to compete in MMA.
Yeah,
Dog, he is gonna fucking kill people.
yeah. Like this man, This man doesn't know how to compete. He retires from one sport and is now going to go take over another.
Yeah,
so.
he's like, well, and it's crazy because like he only retired because he couldn't be number one.
Yeah.
That's it. Like he was still like top 3, top 4 competitor in strongman.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't.
I think there was maybe
because
like
he wasn't,
2 years he didn't place, and I think
yeah,
they were because of injury. Like he tore.
and
'cause
half
I
door.
remember-
He did his
Yeah.
fucking that one year half door.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bruh. And then we got
Yeah.
the 2 Scottish boys.
Yep.
God, what are
Stoltz?
their names?
Stoltz?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Fucking Stoltz. Dude, those guys are fucking ridiculous, Krowe. Like
Yeah.
built different. They don't even use
Yeah.
like the tape and shit on their arms. They just like
Yeah.
grab
No,
the
it's
fucking
complete-
stones.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
Insane. Yeah, they're ridiculous, dude.
So I don't
Yeah.
know. I think I incorporated a lot of working with him into my life now. Like I feel like honestly, that's when my wrestling started to take off, is when I was working with Brian Shaw. I was taking notes of like,
Hell yeah, dude.
this is how to do shit. And like, I've been hitting the pavement ever since. So yeah,
Well, it sounds like it paid off, dude. And
I'm trying, man.
bro, if you weren't moving to the Springs, I'd say we should fucking go, do some more shit around town down here, but
Bro, I'd
Hey,
still be
man.
seeing it. And I'm not going until December, so we still got time.
well, we have season passes to Elitch's. We do that
Sick.
Luminova thing every year. They
Oh,
do
yeah.
have like a Christmas thing. I think we get like either free tickets or discounted friend tickets. So if you and the
Let's
family
go,
want to
bro.
go, dude, let's
Dude,
go.
yeah.
We'll set up a date before you guys move. And I
Let's
think
go.
it starts late November. So I'm down.
I'm so down, dude.
I love you, Krowe. Thank you for joining me here today. We have a lot more we can talk about. It's fucking kind of crazy how well, like these things go for me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's because of the friendships I'm building with you guys. So I really appreciate you coming on here, sharing your stories.
Of course,
And a
bro.
lot of them,
Thanks
like I
for
said,
having me.
Kate mentioned it, He said, Krowe, you're a badass and you have an amazing story to tell. Keep it up, kid. So you have a lot of people in your corner, dude. Keep up the fucking good work. And I'll be seeing you. When is the next time we'll be seeing each other? Primos or
Probably Primos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Primos. Okay, brother.
Yeah.
I love you,
All
dude.
right,
I'll
bro.
be seeing you Omega
Love
9.
you too, man. Talk to you
Later,
soon.
dude. Yeah, brother.
Bye.
I appreciate y'all for sticking around with me. I'm Rockin' Me Sweets. This has been the Sweet Spot Podcast here on the Shady Sports Network. That was Killian Krowe, one of my really good friends. I really appreciate them sharing their stories with us. All the really intimate details, Not often do you get someone so openly talking about their drug and substance abuse. Shout out to him for getting over that stuff and becoming the man that they are. You're one of my heroes. You're one of my son's heroes, and I appreciate you for who you are, dude. Don't ever change. I want to say thank you to you all again. I will be seeing you tomorrow. I have an interview. Chocolate Violence. Be here. Shady Sports Network. I'm Rockin' McSweets. This has been the Sweet Spot Podcast. I'm going to leave you a little bit of brand action. Have a good one, y'all.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.